Okay, so we've just done 3 examples of finding standard normal probabilities. And now we need to look at inverse probabilities. So the standard normal probabilities were ones where they would say, find the probability that Z is in a certain region. For the inverse probabilities, we're going to go backwards. We're going to say, here's the region. Now find the value of Z that's the cutoff there. So we can do this in StatCrunch as well. So let's look at an example. So first example, find the value of Z so that the probability less than Z is 0.4. So ignore all of this for now. Just look at the picture. We're looking for this value of Z where 40% of the area is to the left of it. Left because it says less than. Okay, so this red area here is 0.4, and we just want to know what's this value of Z down here on the axis. Okay, well, it turns out that's pretty easy to do in StatCrunch. So if we go back to StatCrunch, exactly where we were before, under Stat Calculators Normal. We wanted, this is a standard, not a between. So we're looking for 0.4 of the area being to the left. So this is left, so less than. And make sure you leave the mean at 0 and the standard deviation at 1. We're going to change the answer here, the probability, to 0.4. And when we hit compute, it'll tell us what this value is. So this is the inverse probability. So the answer here is negative 0.2533. That's the value of Z right here. Okay, so that's our answer on the first problem. So on the second example, if we're looking for the area where 15% is to the right of Z. We don't know what Z is, that's what we're looking for, but we know that the area above it is 0.15. Let's go back over here, and we'll change the less than to greater than, and we said 0.15, so we'll just change that there, and then hit compute. And it'll tell us what the answer is, 1.0364. And you can see that that's the right spot there. Okay, so 15% of the area is to the right of 1.0364. Okay, so that's our second answer. The third example is a between case. They say the middle 75% of the normal curve is between what two values? So we want to find these two values, one's going to be negative and one's going to be positive, that separate the middle 75% from the 25% on the outside. So we go back over here. Now we want between, and we're going to change this to 0.75. And when we hit compute, it'll tell us what these two values should be. So we hit 0.75. This is plus and minus 1.1503. All right, so that's all there is to that. So the important thing I want you to understand, not only how to do the problems, but what is the difference between the standard normal and the inverse standard normal probabilities. So there's ones where you find the probability, and on those you type in the two values of X here and here. Okay, and then for the inverse probability, you'll type in the probability and let it find you the X. One more thing I need to say that I almost forgot to mention. Just a little bit of notation here with the inverse normal. You might see notation P with a subscript, which means find the area or find the value of z where that much is to the left. So if you've got P80, that's the 80th percentile. So that means find the value of z with 80% to the left. P12 is going to be the area or the value of z with 12% to the left. Another piece of notation you might see is z with a subscript of something. Anytime it's z with a subscript, that means find the value of z with that much of the area to the right. Okay, so z with a subscript of 0.2 means go over here and find where 0.2 of the area is to the right. So this would be z of 0.2. Okay, and that's just always kind of the way, that's just defined. The z with the subscript means that's the area to the right. All right, so good luck with this section, and let me know if you have any questions.